Hello friends, good morning. My name is Akash Sanjay Khobragade. I am a coordinator at Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge and doing my from Delhi University Department of Sociology. Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge is an institute founded by Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir on the occasion of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Jayanti 2025. And today we are going to have our 39th lecture. And this lecture is a part of a series which we started on Ambedkar Jayanti. And the idea behind this institution, Professor Karunyakara thinks to provide an academic space to professors, doctors, and teachers who are engaged in the field of Dalit studies. So I request Professor Karunyakara are going to chair today's session. So I take an pleasure to introduce and welcome him. Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara is a former Vice Chancellor and founder of Karunyakara Institute of Knowledge. He is the author of History of Dalit Identity and Modernization of Buddhism. After completing his PhD from JNU New Delhi, Dr. Karunyakara joined as Assistant Professor in School of Ambedkar Studies, Babasaheb Ambedkar University, Central University, Lucknow. He introduced the Dalit History course in MA History program. He was instrumental in introducing 50% reservation for SC/ST students in the same university. He founded Ambedkar University's Dalit Student Union in 2000 and Babasaheb Ambedkar Central University SC/ST Teachers Association in 2006. He joined as director professor in Babasaheb Ambedkar Sidhu Kanpur Dalit and Tribal Center, Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya. He held post of Dean of School of Culture, former Vice Chancellor of the University. I welcome Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir for chairing today's session. Now I request Dr. Smita Bhagat to please welcome and introduce our today's guest.
Yeah, thank you so much, Akash. It's a distinct honor for me to welcome.
Let me find out Professor Lakshmanan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
tell me.
Dr. Smita, go ahead.
Yes, sir. It's a distinct honor for me to welcome and introduce such an eminent personality, Professor C. Lakshmanan, former professor at Madras Institute of Development Studies. It is globally reputed social science research institute funded by Indian Council of Social Sciences, MHRD, and Government of Tamil Nadu. Dr. Lakshmanan studied BA and MA Political Science at MCC 1984 to 1989, Department of Political Science. Later, he did his MPhil and PhD in Center for Political Studies, School of Social Science, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. He has been consistently reputed academic journals, Economic and Political Weekly, seminar, newspapers, and edited volumes published by Oxford University Press, Sage publication. He was jointly awarded by Tamil Nadu Progressive Writers Association for the co-author book Untouchability Among the Untouchables, a case of Puthurai Vannar's lives and location, 2015. Some his fact-finding reports had cited by the High Court of Madras. Dr. Lakshmanan has been a member of many committees, which includes UGC Expert Committee. He has been doctoral committee members at School of Humanity and Social Sciences, IIT Madras. External member, ONGC SC/ST Employees Grievance Committee. He has been visiting faculty at JNU, Delhi University, and Hyderabad Central University and other state university. Besides, he has been invited as resource person to international conference law and society, Puerto Rico, USA, Ambedkar International Mission, New Jersey, USA, and Malaysia. He is also national convener of Dalit Intellectual Collective, which an inclusive forum engaging epistemology and emancipatory politics. So, this is the brief introduction of today's honorable guest. Obviously, he is more than that. Being a coordinator of this reliable, true knowledgeable, and trustworthy platform, I heartily welcome you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Smita. Professor Dr. C. Lakshmanan sir going to deliver his lecture. What if Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar alive? So I request Professor Lakshmanan sir, please deliver his lecture.
Main road ke போகணுமா சார்? Okay. Jai Bhim and good morning one and all. And first of all, I thank Professor, my friend Lele Karunyakara and his initiative of Karunyakara Knowledge Institute. It's very important to disseminate our ideas and thinking and share our collective knowledge and also benefit each other. So in that case, last 1 year, I suppose, this Karunyakara Knowledge Institute has usually on the knowledge distribution and knowledge production. And also, I thank the generous introduction by Smita and my dear students and other friends. Today because I thought it will be good, but however, I'm traveling because suddenly there was violence against Dalit in the Tirunelveli, the southern district of Tamil Nadu, and where we are, myself and my friends are visiting and doing fact finding field based collecting information on the violence. And tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we will be releasing the report Chennai press meet. Because Tamil Nadu is a notorious history of anti-Dalit politics and anti-Dalit violence in the country. So therefore, it is very important. And also, I cannot, I cannot, should not disappoint the word I gave that today I will speak, I share on this important theme. Okay, with these three words, let me begin with. So, what if Babasaheb Ambedkar alive? The title itself, you all know, it's a speculation. It's not any prior uh, systematic studies or prior analysis. So this is purely, I gave this topic because to provoke the younger scholar and provoke the like-minded people to think about the current situation, the prevailing current situation in political, economy, culture, and other aspect of our life. Therefore, what now is after 1990, during Babasaheb Ambedkar, he has addressed squarely the very many aspects of our everyday life. And he not only is a scholar, but also is an activist, academic activist, one can call it, because he has never ever silent or kept idle himself. He was always a move. He was always a dynamic in terms of providing a new ideas, in terms of providing a new initiatives, and concretely he has contributed for the betterment of our community. But on the contrary, the post Ambedkar era has some positive impact, some positive things have occurred in our life, in our community life. but there are a lot of negative occurrence, negative impact was seriously there. Because at the time of independence, 1947 we got independent, and 1950 we have the constitution become enforced. By the time our the SC/ST literacy rate and SC/ST educated percentage hardly 2% or hardly 1.5%. Having a 22.5% reservation for SC/ST in education and employment, we are not able to utilize completely even those who were educated till 1990 or till 1989. Our the stipulated percentage of reservation was not fulfilled in total. So hardly in higher education, hardly 2%, and universities and other places are just 1.5% or 2%. And even in the central government and state government employment, and even educational higher education, it's a very low, because the attainment of higher education among the SC/ST was very low till 1990. Ambedkar centenary celebration, which open up the floodgate of our thought process and action and so on and so forth, which is hardly we are able to understood, because before that, though there are uh, this there are at the periphery Ambedkar People's Movement, Ambedkar movement, and so on and so forth, which are function in a very periphery and also very low profile. Hardly anyone even openly dare to claim his or her identity openly. But a centenary, Babasaheb Ambedkar's centenary celebration open up the floodgate, and people come, because the first generation of higher education or second generation of higher educated have come out openly. Most of them for DSA 4 and where Manvare Kansaram initiated Bahujan movement, which have a long history of a struggle, which is given courage, which given a fighting spirit among the educated and employed. However limited, their contribution we cannot discount. Both the DS4 as well as later Bahujan Samaj and our Manvare Kansaram's contribution. Because post Ambedkar is one of the successful, powerful political and social movement was this one. Okay. At the same time, there are uh, several landmarks happen in 1990. Those landmarks are made a demonstrative effect in the socio-economic political situation. What are those demonstrative effects? Let me list out some of them. There are more, but these are very important. You also, whatever the discipline you are working on, whatever discipline you are studying, please make sure this landmarks. You should have always this landmark in your mind and think about it. Okay, what are those landmarks? One, as I mentioned earlier, Babasaheb Ambedkar centenary celebration. Second, demolition of Babur Masjid, which is very, because I will list out, then I will try to explain one by one. Third, implementation of Mandal Commission, which is providing reservation for other backward classes in central government employment. Please, this is in the initial it is a central government employment. Fine. And next one is the deregularization of Indian economy. So this the deregularization of Indian economy, people call it as the economic reform, globalization, privatization, and liberalization. All those things. This is a three-lane process. And next one was the introduction and enforcement of 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment, local self-government or a grassroots democracy. Fine. And last one was the introduction of advancement of information technology. Introduction of advancement of information technology, that is satellite televisions, cell phones, email, internet, all the social media today is started in the 90s, early 90s. This landmark had a demonstrative effect in the people's life, particularly among the Dalit movement and politics. Okay, let me explain one by one. As I already said, Babasaheb Ambedkar's centenary has given us enormous energy and strength in terms of courage to fight, in terms of courage to assert our identity. Yes, I am a scheduled caste. Yes, I am a Dalit. Yes, I am so and so. And more than that, and we have proved ourselves in terms of many arena, and people have come openly, not only claiming but also prove their competence in the field of education, in the field of higher education, in the field of academics, in the field of science and technology, and so on and so forth. So that is the spirit in which this came, and it gave us immense hope. I'm using 1991 Babasaheb Ambedkar's centenary celebration, given us enormous hope, immense hope for our future. But unfortunately, after 25 years, this hope was now is in the peril. It's in a delicate situation. The future generation of society in a big dilemma. What would happen for our education, our futures, our younger generation's education, and our younger generation employment opportunity, and so on. So, why it has happened? Because it happened, the process that was three-lane process of economy, by which in the name of liberalization, in the name of privatization, public sector are declared, most of them are declared sick industry, and they closed down or sold out for the private, by which the large employment opportunity, huge employment opportunities have lost out for the marginalized section. And the privatization in education and health also has burdened the poor much more seriously. And not only that, this process has created new contradictions among us. What are those new contradictions? Those new contradictions, if you are PhD, if you are postdoctoral or postgraduate, and you are employed, permanent employee, employee, temporary employee, contract employee, and temporary employees and part-time employees, and even the the professional patronage or professional collective. We may be teaching in the same university and colleges, but we don't have a collective action. We do not have a collective action because the contradiction. Babasaheb started contradiction of entering. We are in 1949 in the last Constituent Assembly speech, the one of the very popular and very powerful speech, that we are entering to the age of contradiction. At political, one man, one value, one vote. But the social and economy, we are completely glaring inequality. So this, the glaring inequality, we should eliminate or at least reduce as soon as possible. Otherwise, the laboriously build the constitution and the Indian state will be in a serious in danger. But now we are heading towards such a situation. And that is why Babasaheb Ambedkar has provided us a tool of analysis. Fine. That tool of analysis has to be applied from the contemporary condition. Now, how many of us are ourselves that we have applying Babasaheb Ambedkar method and technique in terms of understanding the topic, what if Babasaheb Ambedkar alive? Now, in this situation, okay, in this situation, we have to think about how to address the contemporary economic problem and resolve our communities and provide a way forward how to excel from the current situation in every situation, social, economic, political, and cultural, and educational. But where is that new idea? Where is this tool of analysis emerged? Why we could not provide, why we could not able to think? Because Baba Sahib, what he could think and what it could contribute, he has done it. And another thing is, even we could not complete what are the proposition, what are the ideas, the ideology that Baba Sahib Ambedkar advocated. We are hardly 50%, hardly 30% or 40% we have incorporated in our life and state governance. Therefore, as I said, this deregularization of Baba Sahib Ambedkar was not only for a public sector or state-owned economy, only the public economy, no private economy. No, he said this is public and private economy, private sector is essential for the growth, is essential for the development of holistic development. But both private and public has to be regulated meticulously, because economy has to be regulated, and therefore the economic benefits should reach the equally and fairly to most of our needy. But now the situation now, rich become richer, poor become poorer. If anyone try to understand the process, please read Deepak Nair's article in EPW. It's about 50 years, 60 years of independence, the interaction between economy and politics, and political democracy and economic development. What had happened? Very seminal paper. Similarly, what would be the impact of globalization in the developing countries? That is a 2006, one of the very international scholarly journal. It is called Journal of British Journal of Political Economy. British Journal of Political Economy, because people will aspire to publish one article in this journal in their lifetime. But Deepak Nair published 2 or 3 articles. And this article is a seminal article, seminal analysis of globalization process. Globalization not only give us the exchange of goods and finance, but it's also exchange of disease, exchange of food, exchange of vicious culture, and so on and so forth. So he has emphatically analyzes, and where he ends, the globalization certainly benefits. It's not complete or static. Globalization does impact positively, does benefits people, but whom? And he said, globalization benefits those who are having a better education, better higher education. Globalization benefits those who have asset. Globalization benefits those who have a cultural resources. Cultural resources means that my tata and other, even my uncle and my aunt, all are in the either lawyers or well educated, and the network and so on and so forth. This is a cultural resources. They will benefit. And certainly those who own land, own asset, they also benefit in the process of globalization, privatization, liberalization. What about those who are not having all these things? Marginalized section, no land, no asset, no education, and no cultural resources, because parents are, even our father, mothers are illiterate or first generation literate. That's all. And even they are not able to guide us the future, how, where to study, how to study, where is available, all these things. So therefore he concludes in his analysis that globalization does benefit and those who are, and he was using that winners and loser. Who are the winner? Those who are having asset, better education, and cultural resources, and so forth. And losers are those who do not have land, those who do not have a cultural resources, those who do not have a better education, those who do not have a network, all these things. So we are particularly the Dalit community, most of the Dalit communities comes under the loser in the process of their globalization. Therefore, economy has to be regulated. Does any of our economy able to squarely provide alternative how to address the current situation for the marginalized section? This is the question. Fine. So similarly, the other, as I said, the Mandal Commission, implementation of Mandal Commission, it was both negative and positive impact. Fine. But Mandal Commission opened up a Bandara box of cost understandings. Earlier, cost was limited to reference in the academic and even public platform, SC/ST reservation, SC/ST atrocities, and that to a very limited sense. More than that, or even somewhere they will discrimination or untouchability. More than that, how the caste as a prestige, power, and the control over a resource, and political power, economic power, all this. But Mandal Commission, post Mandal Commission, has done this squarely understanding of the caste. Caste become the centrality of unit of analysis study at the classroom. and caste was a very openly debated and discussed, and created a new the discourse on caste understanding, which is very, very important. Okay. However, the negative impact, what I mean, Mandal Commission implementation should have reduced the violence or atrocities against SC and ST. But instead, after post-Mandal Commission, the violence has been doubled or tripled, multiplied. We do not understand why this has happened. Because it's a natural ally. SC, ST, OBC, because earlier it's the reservation only SC, ST. Of course, in the southern state, it was done even 100 years, 150 years before. The OBC have benefited from Mandal Commission. Now, reservation policy or a similar policy of then rulers, even pre-colonial and colonial and post-colonial. But North India's situation is different because one of the seminal analysis by Ashutosh Vasani, who is a political scientist who is in teaching at the University of California, I suppose, in US. He was a study on Indian polity and society, very, very important contribution. So he done classic analysis of OBC in North India and OBC in South India, the issues and the challenges. Brilliant paper, I think, Modern Asian Survey, the journal called Modern Asian Survey. Why I say this, keep on repeating this journal name, because we should know some of the best academic or reputed academic journal's name and its contribution. Okay. So that is why I am referring, because academic is nothing but to know better scholars, better studies, better analysis. So these are the things are very important. Okay, so Mandal Commission did, it is a $100 million question that why the violence escalated in the post 1991 until today. Because as I said, I was visiting in order to find why violence. Because two people who killed mercilessly without any prior conflict or a dispute. Some French has come on the way and killed them like this, and 6-7 people hands are mutilated. They are in a serious condition, and one Dalit person who was indifferently not able to walk properly has been mutilated piece and piece on public road in the at 7:30 in Nanganeri, a place called Nanganeri in Tirunelveli. At the same place earlier, one Chinnadurai was attacked in his own house around 8:30, 9 o'clock when he was having a dinner. And his own classmate, none other than his own classmate, or young boys. Even this also, all the 7, 9 criminals who are involved, all are 18 to 21. That's the age. Imagine. In the age of 21st century, the violence on this scale happening. And our chief minister not even condemned or not even gave a statement till today. Sorry, some phone call disturbance. Okay. So this is where we have to think on what if Babasaheb Ambedkar alive. So we have to get into Babasaheb Ambedkar's shoe, or we have to bear the eyes of Babasaheb Ambedkar, see the society, contemporary society, and the contemporary problem new contradictions, and what the new contradiction could be resolved. What are the ways and means to resolve these new contradictions? Or what ways and means we can intervene in terms of understanding this new contradiction. So this is what I want to discuss. Okay. The other things which I said, 73rd and 74th Amendment, that also had a very important demonstrative effect. Earlier, we hardly understood the real rural India. Though Gandhi and Mahatma Gandhi and Babasaheb Ambedkar have a different notion of village, but because mostly we have been bitter against Mahatma Gandhi on account of 1932 Pune Pact. But Gandhi has changed in the later stage. He has changed his opinion and notion. However, village actually the 73rd and 74th Amendment open up the eyes of our public and also the academics and policymakers to understand the real village condition. So again, this has given a new opportunity in terms of the rural grassroots governance and the participation of marginalized section in the rural governance, particularly the completely denied opportunity for gender, women. Women have been kept away from the governance for a long time, and also women have been, even till today, they are not achieved the due. But however, the 43rd and 44th Amendment has done a great contribution in terms of understanding and also in terms of improving the conditions of rural India and the governance. Basic infrastructure and the schools, water, drinking water, and so on. So, because I personally visited during Banji, Mayavadi's rule in UP, many villages, almost more than 5,000, 6,000 hand pump. He has at a stroke of within 3 months or 1 month, 2, 3 months he has provided, because earlier the source of drinking water is a pathetic in a rural. So she asked to do a borewell, providing water, some quality of water, some decent water. So it is essential because through Panchayat, because through Panchayat Union, and of course that is an election in which BSP and SPS got head-on collusion and severe violence in 1994 or 95. Because I was eyewitness to that violence, and even I was there in the Ajamgarh, a friend of mine, Chandraban Prasad house, and witnessed this violence during that time. Because rural violence, as I said, governance and positive, and rural casteism, rural power has come out openly. In Tamil Nadu, all the claim of anti-Brahmin politics has been completely spit on them. And when even people to contest and conduct election in play and other rural Tamil Nadu. So this is so we need Ambedkar eye. We need Ambedkar's tool of analysis to understand the contemporary. Fine. And the last one I said was the information revolution, information technology revolution, which also come out because now it's everything in our fingertip. Its information is no more this thing, and but we should know how to judiciously use this gas card. this software or this cash card, cell phone, and laptop, tab, and all these things. But it requires money. That the Dalits and the SC/ST and the most marginalized section struggling because their living conditions, as I said, the rich are becoming richer, poor are becoming poorer. So this the three-lane process not able to provide fair development, fair opportunities to these communities. Okay, so these are a very important aspect, and we need to because now another 5 to 10 years, I think public education become mm, unavailable. Public education now itself because the kind of new entrance exams already the IIT, IIM, and the excellence, the higher education, the excellence of knowledge centers are completely ghettoized or even Brahminized or casteized. And the entry, because if you read N. Sukumar's recent book on the atrocities and discrimination the marginalized sections, SCSTs are facing in the universities and so on. So this is what this need of that we need to think as Babasaheb Ambedkar thought because we don't need to reproduce Babasaheb Ambedkar, but instead what we should do, we should take is the tool of analysis, the way in which how he has understood because Babasaheb Ambedkar is always is a multidisciplinary approach. He never analyzed economy as economy. He analyzed economy as a sociology. He analyzed economy as a culture. He analyzed economy how intervene politics. The interface between politics, interface between economy and politics, interface between sociology and economy. All these things are important. This is the what I meant for what if Babasaheb Ambedkar alive. We have not adequately internalized the Babasaheb ideals. We are not able to adequately internalize Babasaheb way of life. We try to mimic some here and there. And the most and last aspect is what I want to say is Babasaheb Ambedkar himself said that don't make me a god. You will lose in your battle, in your struggle. Make my ideals as a weapon. Make my ideology as a weapon for your struggle, weapon for your battle. You will win. But unfortunately, we are started, even the most academics are started worshipping ideal. I require because it is more than a god. For us, it's more than God. But as a follower of Ambedkar, we should follow his advocacy that we should not make him as a god. We should make his ideal, his ideology as a weapon for our future struggle. Thank you, JB. I'll be happy for some clarification if you need.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving us a wonderful lecture. Now, I request Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara, sir, to please give today key remark on today's lecture.
Professor C. Lakshmanan, uh, who worked in Madras Institute of Advanced Studies, doctorated from, obtained doctorate degree from Jawaharlal Nehru University, was good friend of mine when I was in JNU. We did a lot of student political activity, as well as spreading the Dalit knowledge among the youngsters. When I asked him for this lecture, he gave me such a topic that what if Ambedkar alive? It's very unique and interesting topic, very interesting. Generally, we have a topics related to Ambedkar thoughts. But when Professor Lakshmanan suggested this topic, what if Ambedkar alive? That that instantly gave me like instant coffee. Having it, when you have instant coffee, you will get instant energy. Like that, when he suggested this topic, what if Ambedkar alive? Instantly I got energy, like I had an instant coffee. So it's a very purposeful, meaningful, very unique topic. Immediately I accepted. Unexpectedly, he happened to visit a place somewhere else, far away from Chennai, as a part of fact-finding committee. There was a murder. A Dalit person was murdered by non-Dalits nearby Tirunelveli, a place away from Chennai. So because of that reason, he could not deliver his lecture from any comfortable place. So on the way from his own vehicle, he delivered this lecture. So on behalf of Karunyakara knowledge, I really thankful to Professor Lakshmanan for keeping his word and delivering his lecture on time without postponing it, even though he is involved in very important urgent work today. Why I'm mentioning about this his fact-finding committee, because most of us think that if any atrocities happen to any Dalit, we expect the police to investigate. We expect the government to constitute some investigation committee. We expect any non-Dalit NGOs to send some fact-finding committee. I appreciate Professor Lakshmanan. He is doing this, fact-finding committee activities for so long. Wherever in excuse me, wherever in Tamil Nadu, if any atrocities happen, immediately Professor Lakshmanan constitute a fact-finding committee, independent fact-finding committee from the Dalit community, involving eminent people. And this committee, mostly led by Professor Lakshmanan, visit that a place where atrocity happened and talk to the people, talk to the victims, talk to the neighborhoods, talk to the victim, witnesses, then prepare a fact-finding that report and releases to the public, so that government could take immediate action for the justice of Dalit victims. Or government could make some policy changes. So this kind of fact-finding activities involved by Dalit scholars is highly appreciated. I appreciate Professor Lakshmanan for your very meaningful activity that taking into account of what's happening with the Dalit community even in this 2026, after having independence more than 70 years, after India, that too written by a Dalit, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, after having all this supporting ecosystem, still Dalit community experiencing atrocities continuously. I must appreciate Professor Lakshmanan for taking these fact-finding committees activities to highlight the atrocities and bringing the culprits to the justice. Now coming back to this topic, what if Ambedkar alive? That's what Professor Lakshman is doing. What if Ambedkar alive? Actually, Ambedkar reacts to the atrocities. Actually, Ambedkar take up the issues happening to the Dalits. That's what scholars like Professor Lakshman is doing. I appreciate Professor Lakshmanan for opting this kind of topic. What if Ambedkar alive? And this lecture certainly is a needful intervention in the Dalit narrative for building Dalit knowledge society. Thank you, Professor Lakshmanan.
Thank you, Karunyakara. Of course, Karunyakara and myself is a long friendship from Madras Christian College onwards. Not only in Jawaharlal University, Madras Christian College onwards. Indeed, it's my pleasure. And recently, after more than 20 years, recently I visited Wardha and we had a very good time. Almost 3 hours, I think we chat together. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Karunyakara, sir. Now we are going to open this session, question answer session for everyone. Those who want to ask a question, please raise your hand, and accordingly I'll give you. But first of all, actually I was in very hurry to ask a question to him. That's why I was jumped into the question answer session without forgetting about our chair's remark. So first of all, I'll take a chance to ask a question to Professor Lakshmanan. So while Professor Lakshmanan give some of the points related to Dr. Ambedkar centenary, demolition of Babri Masjid, implementation of Mandal Ayog. So I have 3 things which I come in my first is the deregulation of Indian economy, and where these private sector, these government institutions or government PSUs are privatized and given to the private bodies. So when a government institute or public sector units are giving to or selling to the private institutes, Indian government sell lands, instruments, and some other benefits to it. But why they are not mandatoring the private sector that you already this institution is having already. So when I see this, you also talk about Ambedkar tool of analysis. So when I see are giving the government institute PSUs to the private sector, we also follow up. We also have to mandate reservation on that institution. First question is this. The second is also related to the 73rd and 74th amendment, where 73rd and when I see about the women reservations in the panchayat elections are given there and representation are given there. Still, I was in my field work. I saw that most of there are of women only on the chair. They are not able to speak. They are not able to give a proper rights or authority to rule this particular their body. Most of the people who are from the senior of that political party or the husband of the woman is leading the whole mechanism of the particular that panchayat samiti or gram panchayat. And the other third important point it's coming in my mind when you are talking about introduction of advancement of information technology. So yes, you rightly said that we are lacking behind. But the another important thing which is coming right now in 2026 and coming elections, it all might be it going to be implemented by the government is delimitation. So where the seats of Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha going to be increased at least 2x. So where the Dalit politics is seeing themselves, or is the Dalit politics are aware on that scene, or preparing themselves for this delimitation. So these are the some questions from my side. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you have raised three important questions. I think one is reservation in private sector. Second one is 73rd Amendment and women's reservation. And third one is delimitation. Fine. Yeah. Let me answer as quick as possible. First, the question which I ask, same.
Professor Lakshmanan, if it is possible, could you open the video?
Yeah. Okay, fine. See, the answer to the first question, reservation in private sector, where is the Dalit movement and political parties have come organized and demanded this provision. Okay, you have selling the public sector, you are privatizing the public sector, fine. But what about the opportunity, equal opportunity? So who will ask? Either that is what I said. What if Babasaheb Ambedkar alive? Fine. So we are yet to wake up. We are sleeping on it, or we are negating on it, or we are not concerned about the future. We are not concerned of the future generation. That's it. Second question, yes, of course, the reservation for women in Panchayat Raj has its own limitation. However, there are first, suppose a woman in first time she elected, she might be slightly uh, not able to exercise her authority, her power. But to see the second and third time, even whatever the husband powerful, she will say that just as chalo bhai, side mein roko. हमारा काम मालूम है कैसे करना है. This is a history. I have done a study on women's participation in Panchayat, and there are women president have made a remarkable. Or there is a limitation. The Pradhan Padi, Pradhan something, the president, husband, president, this thing is there. But it's changing because we are in a very complex, very old orthodox society. This orthodox has been started breaking down, and Panchayat Raj institution, women's governance is it's coming up. We have to see the eye to acknowledge those positive elements as well. I'm not saying completely rosy picture. I'm not telling that all women Panchayat presidents are active. No. There are first time women Panchayat president may be submissive to the husband, submissive to the male dominance. But after they learn and after they learn the trick of the trade, they say the छोड़ो भाई हमारा रास्ता छोड़ो काली करो हम मालूम है क्या करना है कैसे करना है कब करना है. You just mind your business. I know because this is a way. There are several examples I can cite. history in the panchayat level, in the governance. Acknowledge them. Fine. The third answer was delimitation and the reservation in the assembly and parliament. For me, every 10 years, because Babasaheb Ambedkar, education and employment reservation is timeless. Until adequate representation has achieved, this education and employment should continue. For political reservation is the 10 years. That is why without any demand from the SC and ST, the dominant caste fellows are automatically extending 10 years. Every 10 years, the extension is done. But what is these fellows are 120 or 125 MPs in the parliament, and also around 50 to 60 in each assembly minimum. What are their contribution? Why they are not? Because it's not a red carpet for them to do. They have to take challenges. They have to find the strategy. They have to, because you see how Ramlas Paswan have contributed extensively on this, how Manvare Kansiram or Mayavati have done, and also we can name few of the Dalit political leader have done it, and taking the challenge, taking the very powerful position on their own, asserting themselves. But that has to come. For me, I think we should end this political reservation. Therefore, the real voice may come. This is the third answer. Fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else who want to ask a question, please raise your hands.
Dr. Smita, your work is on Panchayat Raj only. Why don't you make some question related to women politics, Dalit women politics?
I think some Arsalada is Arsalada. I see has been writing. Yeah.
I'm Dr. Kiran, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Sir, very nice presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, my first question is, are Ambedkar constitutional values being followed in modern India? Means, I mean to say, there are core values in the constitution: liberty, equality, fraternity. But today is not properly implemented. So, any comment on this? And second question is, why increasing SC, ST atrocities like that Dalit women and Adivasi women, any other things? So, could you explain according to NCRB report, National Crime Bureau record?
Fine.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. This is my question. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a very important question.
Yes.
First question is the values, constitutional values, liberty, equality, fraternity, and also justice. Because the preamble. So, the constitution was not wholeheartedly welcomed or received by the dominant section of the society. Even the ruling party, even ruling class have the reservation, particularly, see, for example, the communist and the Marxist. They see state as the instrument of exploitation of the ruling, exploitation of laborer, have-nots. And they picture the state as a villain of the peace. So they want to have a stateless society. But actually, only God and beast can live without state. God and beast can live without state. So state is a necessary evil, if at all. State is a necessary. That is why Babasaheb Ambedkar, ahead of thinking, what? State is a democratic instrument. State is a democratic instrument for social transformation. Says state is a democratic instrument for a social transformation. See the change. So therefore, unfortunately, even the preamble, people have started reading preamble publicly and then acknowledging only after Modi introduced the CAA, Citizenship Act Amendment. Okay. So that is the objective condition prevailed in this society. That is why the constitutional values are not fully, wholeheartedly or fully implemented, or but now they're receiving, when common people are realizing, understanding the values of the constitution and its value, and now it is in danger. Constitution in danger. Fine. So we have to understand. That is what we need to squarely see in the lens of Babasaheb Ambedkar. Fine. Second question, why the violence? So this is what the question. I said 1990, post 1990, the things would have been reduced. But things have escalated because the public resource or scarcity of a public resource. People are fighting for each other. And small opportunity, because earlier opportunities were there, but people are able to get some satisfactory achievement, job opportunities. Now the opportunities are sinking. When the opportunities are sinking, the opportunities are limited, then there is a what is called division among the, and that is what I said, new contradictions. Caste within caste, sub-quota within quota. And all these things are why it is came. Because X and Y is benefited more, X and Y benefited less. But whether the reservation wholeheartedly fulfilled on 22.5 supplemental percentage, no. That is the one. The second reason for escalation of violence is when people assert, if you are submissive, people will accept you as it is. When assert, even if, in the household also, if a wife accepts and does everything what her husband demands and direct or dictate, fine, the family will be smooth and nice. The day women, no, why should I only do? You should also share responsibility. I should also share responsibility. I am also contributing. I need a rest. I need my own self rights, and so finished. If husband not able to understand the realizing the other, realizing self of his other, then the violence will come. Wherever the assertion comes, the violence also increases. That is one of the reasons. I understand. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. This is Dr. Smita. Sir, your lecture was fantastic and very informative. I have one question, sir. Sir, as we said that in Panchayati Raj, Jilla Parishad is considered as a mini parliament, right? A lot of fund given to it, but on the ground level, as we say that Dalit political upliftment is not there. So, what is the main reason behind it, sir, from the particular eyes of Dalit discourse?
Okay. So the overall reason is that as I started that Babasaheb Ambedkar's centenary gave us immense hope in many aspects. But down the line 25 years, all the hope is diminishing. And because the hopes are diminishing, the people have become more and more peer psychosis. Peer psychosis not only in terms of a majority and minority, but also in terms of their survival, struggle for survival. Because their livelihood was the scarcity of their livelihood, opportunities, and so on and so forth. That is why this women panchayat are women panchayat and the Dalit development in the Jilla Parishad level. We are not, because at the Jilla level there should be a strong movement, Dalit movement, Dalit politics, Dalit leader. And we are not having such a powerful, dominant Dalit leader now. Earlier, we had, that is what I'm repeatedly saying, the one of the successful post Ambedkar is Manmari Kansaram's BSP, Bahujan Samaj Party, and the success in politics, power politics. But even that also now it is in a delicate situation. But they have to reconstruct, rebuild, reorient, and so on and so forth. Because we are not walking on the red carpet, we are walking on the thorn. The Dalit development was not adequately addressed in the Panchayat, Jilla Panchayat, all level, because the voice of Dalits should be organized, mobilized, and demanded. So that require a conscientized and concrete process.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. There is one more question. Dr. Ambedkar was in favor of in Panchayati Raj or against the Panchayati Raj?
Oh, good question. Yeah. As I said, Babasaheb Ambedkar and Mahatma Gandhi had a different notion on the village. Okay. And Babasaheb even advocated Dalits should leave the village and come to urban and settle in cities and urban towns. So this is maybe that situation Babasaheb Ambedkar, maybe because his own personal experience might be. But it's seeing today slum and Dalit locality, what is happening in the cities and the slum areas where Dalit population is ghettoized and their lack of even basic facilities and even the very self denial in the urban condition. This is a situation. That is why, what if Babasaheb Ambedkar alive? As Gandhi has transformed or changed his notion on village and village republic in the earlier and the later is completely changed. He was almost annihilation of caste is addressing. He was land reform, land distribution, fair distribution of resource, fair distribution of power in the rural structure must be buckled on to the marginalized. But Gandhi has said in the latest thing. So similarly, Babasaheb Ambedkar also might have changed his opinion on the village. What was, of course, village discrimination, caste and all, but at least their on his own, at least in this Dalit uh, locality, Dalit will live like a king. But today, if you visit some of the slum areas and the concrete jungle created by the power lumpen, so they are encouraging all kinds of, because of all VCS is dumped in this way. So that is the Babasaheb Ambedkar initially was not in favor of village panchayat or village administration, because he consider village is the den of caste and communal and also on so forth. So he was for urbanization, industrialization, and also cosmopolitan. But that was idea, but that is not happened. Even the city, you cannot get a rented house if they come to know your cost. Or even when you go for a charging a house, renting a house, they will ask all kind of question. What if you read Professor Thoret and Madheswaran's and Muslims are denied houses even in the metropolitan cities, Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, and Calcutta, because they have done a very systematic scientific study how cost alive in urban and cities.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. There is a one question on our in-call message. So I'll read it for you. The question is, there is a two question. One is, what are the implications of appropriating Dr. Ambedkar in the contemporary period for the Dalits? The second question is, what are your views on positive resurgence of Dr. Ambedkar today?
Okay, positive my contention. It should have been more wider. Okay, there are positive, no doubt about it, because if you read Gopal Guru's book, uh, humiliation context and climate context, I suppose. So, where he said Babasaheb Ambedkar movement and politics gave us the walking carrion become walking storm. That is the scope of 1990 when the centenary happened. That is a walking storm. But now the walking storm become again carrion. And the power of the movement is lost. I don't know why, because of these new contradictions. Fine. Because we need to have the tool of analysis in order to understand the contemporary, in order to understand the current situation of this thing. And accordingly, as I said, the first you were asking reservation. Even if you are not a reservation, equal opportunity in the private sector, diversity policy in private sector, diversity policy in the distribution of resources. So these are the very important to come out a new. We have to have a new language. See, for example, earlier it is a sanitary worker, cleaning staff, and so on. Now what is the housekeeping? Housekeeping staff. Language is changed. So like that, we have to find of looking at the issue, but analysis, fundamental, basic tool of analysis is the Babasaheb Ambedkar method idea.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So is there anyone else who want to ask a
Yeah,
question?
go for a vote of thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. With the permission of the chair, I request Shashikant Sambodhi to please give official vote of thanks for today's lecture.
Thank you. On the behalf of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge, I warmly thank Professor Dr. L. Karunyakara sir, a respected Dalit historian and a Ambedkarite thinker, for kindly chairing today's session. We are deeply thankful to the esteemed Professor C. Lakshmanan sir, retired Professor, Madras Institute of Development Studies, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, for his very inspiring and thought-provoking lecture on what if Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar alive. Our sincere thanks to all the participants and attendees of the 39th online lecture in the KIDK lecture series. A special thanks to our coordinators, Dr. Sukeshni, Dr. Darshana, Dr. Smita, Mr. Akash, Mr. Shreyat, and Mr. Vijay for their continuous efforts and support in the making this session successful. This lecture series started on Ambedkar Jayanti 2025 continues to spread knowledge and new ideas in the field of Dalit studies. Thank you once again to everyone for your valuable participation. And before we close, please don't forget to subscribe to the Dalit Knowledge YouTube channel, where this recorded session will be uploaded soon. Jai Hind. The session is over.